YouTube now. Am I streaming? It says I'm live. We're going to see how long that lasts. All right. Welcome to live chat. All right. So if y'all want to go on YouTube, you can catch me. I'm streaming live on UNA Republic. And we can take comments there. We can take comments here on Facebook. So let's do it. All right, here we go. Now we're talking about accepting your energies. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you. Glad to see you. Divine Sunshine Love. Michelle is dancing. All right, do that. Do that. Do that. All right. So let's get into this. This comes back, as I was telling you, off the back of a video that we saw where there was a young man who was describing that this is hell. And he talks about how the planets are fallen angels and how he's in this and he's F the universe is what he says. I'm not trying to, I'm bigger than the universe and I'm a God and this and that and that. Okay. I needed to get on that because of the simple fact that now everything he was saying in the video was on point because he talked about some of the things he was talking about is, how we are beings, we're multidimensional beings, that we are creators of our own space and everything that's going on in our universe. And so he was actually on point. One of the issues was when he was saying, F the universe, I'm not trying to be a part of this paradigm. I ain't accepting what, okay. Here's the thing, what we got to understand. Again, we are the creators of this dimension. So when he was going on about F the universe, one of the things we have to recognize is we are here for a reason. When you say F the universe, you're saying F part of yourself. You're saying F you the part of yourself. The other thing is that we want to recognize is why we're here in the first place. There are lessons that we have to learn. Now, in his whole, what it sounded like was anger, is what I'm just telling you what it sounded like. It sounded like anger and F this and I ain't a part of this. What we have to recognize is, again, this is all our creation. If you are here in this dimension and whatever it is that's going on outside of your dimension, you created it with your energies. One of the things that regardless of what he or anybody else says, when you study this, if you're saying you're a God, then you don't have any place to be blaming anything on anybody else. So if you're in a dimension where you're not liking or appreciating what's going on around you, well, the problem is you. You got to change that. So when you know who you are, when you understand what these energies are and understand that you're putting them out, then you know and recognize you've got to be the one who's changing them, and then you don't have anyone to blame. He goes on to say that this is hell, this is an inferno. These planets, this one, Saturn, Neptune, Mars, Jupiter, they're all cast down and they are fallen angels. Okay. That we're coming from these planets, though. We are made up of the planets. We're made up of Earth. That makes us of those fallen angels. So one of the things, as he was going on about this is hell, see, you got to understand everything. Let me go. Make sure you all know where to get these universal laws. If you don't have the universal laws and know what they are, go to unarepublic.com/docs, DOCS. unarepublic.com/docs, DOCS. And you're going to be able to download those universal laws, okay? You want to get them and understand them. Now, everything, and I mean everything, has duality. Everything has duality. What does that mean? What does that mean? So I'm putting out our currency. This is UNA's currency, by the way. We have digital currency, we have paper currency, we have coinage. These are the universal laws. All right, these are the universal laws. All right, and what makes them currency is the fact that they have 2 seals and 2 signatures on them right there. All right, they have the seals of our bankers and the seal of UNA. All right, So we have the universal laws, and we have one for the hierarchy of laws. Y'all want to get some of these too. But if you don't have this, at least go to unarepublic.com/DOCS. These are the universal laws. The law that I'm speaking on right now is the law of polarity. The law of polarity or duality. That means everything has two sides, a pole. All right. And one of the reasons why we have to be aware of this law is because when something seems like it's negative, there's another side to it. That's the law. Now he wants to say, well, F these universal laws and F that. Okay, well, guess what? These laws deal with your energies. I don't care how much of a God you think you are. If your energies are off point, you're going to find yourself in hell. So if he feels that this is hell, what he needs to recognize is he created it. If you're living in a hell, you need to recognize that you created it. So when I get people who are talking this, I'm bigger than I'm a God and I'm a this, that, and that. And I want to look at what is your surroundings like? What kind of energies are coming upon you? Are you happy about what's going on? If not, then okay, you're a God, but you better get your energies right. Evidently, your energies are not in order. So when he was going on about this is hell, let me make this clear. This is hell to those of us who think we're victims. But those of us who know that we are controlling every energy that we put out, this is heaven. Are you living your paradise? Or are you in hell like this guy is who thinks he's a God? I'm not suggesting that he's not, but what I am suggesting is that he doesn't know what energies he is putting out. And so the other thing that we want to recognize is if you are, you can be great. You know you're a God. And I'm bigger than this universe and blah, blah, blah. Okay. If you don't have your energies right, I guarantee you that you're going to be in a bigger hell with the next universe that you create than you are now. So look, again, what he's talking about is getting outside of the cages. We talked about cages, these what we call country borders. Those are cages. What we call cities and states, those are cages. What we call this vessel, this is a cage. We talked about getting outside of these cages. I want to say hello to Red Eyed Princess. Thank you for joining us, sis. We want to talk about getting outside of these cages. That's true. But one of the things that I talked about in that, when we're talking about getting outside of the cages, if your energies are not right, if you don't have integrity, if you are angry, if you're a victim, you're in your victimhood, then you're going to create a bigger hell than what you're already in. What am I talking about? I'm going to give you an example of just on this lower level that we're talking about, this third dimension level, because we talk about getting outside of the system. All right, when we're talking about the birth certificate and how that was used to enslave people, which really your ignorance enslaved you. We're not going into that today. But we're talking about how this system has been lying to us and cheating us with respect to funds and that we really don't have to pay for anything. Okay. We're talking about how the police have no jurisdiction over you when you know who you are. All right. So there we are. Now, those are some things we're talking about getting outside of this cage. Now, let's say you understand, hey, the government has no jurisdiction over me because they're not true government. They're just fiction government. All right. Now, and which is true. And you decide, you put your documents down and you created your documents, you put them on public record, and you decide you're going to do everything you're big and bad enough to do. You feel like, I'm going to go steal. I'm going to go do harm to this person. I'm going to do this. And you think, the police can't touch me. The government can't touch me because I know how to write this contract for this and I know how to do. Okay. You got to understand there is a higher law than these people down here. These quasi governments, the only reason why they're in existence is because you created them with their energies. Well, I didn't do that, Diva. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do that. So you're going to tell me you're a God and you just came into existence. This person says, oh, time is before and after. It's never ended. It's all the way to the past is all the way to infinity. The future is all the way to infinity. He's right. So then you got to understand, you as a spiritual entity goes all the way back to infinity and all the way forward to infinity. And he was saying past, present, future is a box. He's right. Because if you're talking about the past, present, and future of this vessel, this is just a box. It's a box. Because me as a spiritual entity, I extend beyond this future wise, and I extend beyond this past wise. So when we're talking about past, present, and future of this vessel, yeah, it's a box. This whole vessel is a box. So when we're talking about this dimension, we got to understand we have played a role in all of this paradigm that we're looking at. Everything that's in it, we have created it, we have played a role in it. So then the thing has to be, oh, don't say, you can't say, oh, I'm a God, but I didn't do this. Yes, you did. This is not your first time here. We talked about that. So then if we're understanding that this is not our first time in this dimension, and we're recognizing that we are gods. Don't call yourself a God if you're not willing to respect and accept all of the energies that you put out up to this time. All of the energies that you put out to this time. If you're not willing to accept that, stop calling yourself God. You're just playing. Because we are responsible for every energy in this dimension. And if you're an angry God, this is hell. This is hell. Okay, that's because your energies have to change. If you wanted to be heaven, change your energies to reflect heavenly. And if you are getting held in your dimension, that's because you're putting out those energies. Period and point blank. Yes, that includes that woman. Y'all know who I'm talking about because I didn't want to. I'll go into that today if y'all want me to. But that includes that woman. That includes that child. That includes that man who's is the system messing with me. You messing with you. See, we're gonna go into it, and we're gonna understand how we're putting out these energies constantly, and we're not recognizing them. So I'm gonna let Princess come on and reset this, but I need y'all to understand when we're dealing with whether or not this is heaven or hell. It's dependent on what your energies are that you're putting out. If you are putting out all kind of toxic energy, if you're doing dirt to people, if you feel that it's okay for you to lie, steal, and cheat and anything else, listen, your hell is what you have created. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about what this dimension is reflecting. All right, we're going to come back and we're going to talk. We're going to go into depth about what this dimension is actually reflecting. I want to thank everybody who's joined us. Kevin Stiff, Red Eye Princess. Let's see, Michelle's in the house. If y'all have any comments, please put them in the box. We'd love to hear from you. Johnson's in the house. John, thank you for joining us. Cheryl, thank you for joining us. Princess, come on and let's reset this thing.
Hello. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us live on YouTube and Facebook. We are the UNA Law Club. We're live on UNA America on Facebook and UNA Republic on YouTube. For those of you that are following on YouTube, I want you to go ahead and hit that like button. Like. Then I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. And we want to thank you. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to share this live video with your friends so we can grow our audience on the YouTube platform, as well as those who are joining us on Facebook. Be sure to put comments in the section if you have any questions or you agree with what's being said. The same on YouTube. Put comments in that comment section and you agree with what's being said. We love to hear from you. That gives us feedback. Lets us know you're receiving what is being given. All right. Also, have a pen and a notebook handy. Pay attention. And Diva, we're going to give it back to you.
Thank you, Princess. All right, so let's get into this now. Again, we're going on accepting your energies. We get a lot of people who are wanting to say, "Oh, this is hell." I get it, but I only get it because what I'm understanding is you are putting out energies to bring about that hell. So what we want to get into is recognizing again, if we are gods, then we have to be willing to accept all of the energies that we have put out. Now, I was going into this because I spoke about how we're talking about getting outside of cages. So if you're in this, what we call a cage, where again, the governments have claimed to have authority and jurisdiction over us when they truly don't have that authority and jurisdiction. And when you feel that you're going to be big and bad enough to do dirt to other people, there is another law. The universe will never let you get off on anything. If you harm someone, you kill someone, you steal from someone, the universe is going to find a way to return that energy to you. You cannot escape that. I don't care how big of a god you think you are. You are not going to escape that. With that being said, see, all of these people will recognize that it's all about energies. Doesn't matter who you talk to, they'll tell you everything is about energy. So if everything is about energy, then everything you're seeing is an energy. I don't care if it's a pen, plastic, whether it's weather, it could be wood, it could be skin. Everything that you're seeing is a vibration. It has a vibratory frequency. It's all energy. With that being understood, this is why everything in our dimension is based on the energies that we have put out. We have created it. So, with understanding that, when you're talking about creating a new dimension, a paradise, or whatever you're talking about creating, it's going to be dealing with your energies. It's going to be dealing with what you put out. So let's understand this. He's speaking about, oh, we're going to go to, we bigger than this, we bigger than past, present, and future, which he's right. He's right. But as a God, we are constantly creating. We created these vessels. We created this dimension. So if you are angry, if you are of the mindset that you are a victim, if you're talking about F something and you're trying to, oh, this is hell because the planets came down and they are fallen angels is what he called them. Okay, well, if that's how you're taking it, then that's where your mindset is, period. To call it hell, that's where your mindset is. And so if you want this to be your heaven, you need to flip trip, change your mind. And yes, we are bigger than this, but again, this is a universe in itself. You are a universe within yourself. Yes, our job is to go on and create other universes, but this is the universe that we create. We can create other vessels. We can jump in and out of this vessel and go into another one at will when we get our energies right and we understand this game. So when I'm hearing people come with that, my question becomes, okay, what does their dimension around them look like? Because if you're knowing all of this stuff about I have energies, are you getting everything that you want? Are you able to pull resources together and get the things that you want? Are you working like a dog, or are you enjoying your life? So this is when I start to wonder, okay, I gotta ask some questions now. Now, I talked about how we are gods. We extend beyond this past, present, and future. Past, present, future. We were here before these vessels, and we're going to be here after these vessels expire. And so, in understanding that and recognizing that, one of the things that people want to, please pay attention to this, because I get a lot of people who will make excuses for someone. And oh, well, he just had a hard time, and he just had a rough life, and they want to tell me that this person is just some kind of way getting a bad deal. But the thing is, everything that's coming to somebody, whether they're a child, a woman, man, or anything else, that is an energy that they have put out. And you can look at it. Once again, go to unarepublic.com/law and /docs, DOCS, and get these laws, because these right here are going to give you some insight into what's really going on in this dimension. These are the lost laws. These are lost laws that y'all need to get, these universal laws. And the law of compensation and correspondence as well. They talk about how nothing is happenstance. Nothing. When you see somebody getting a beat down, I don't care if it's a woman or whomever. When you see somebody getting that, that's an energy they put out. No, because some people just do some. Nothing is happenstance. They don't just get it just because. There's an energy that they put out. And then when we're talking about children, I told y'all, a child is nothing more than an old spirit returning in a new vessel. They coming back from the cosmos. So when you get this spirit coming up into this vessel right here, y'all think, oh, it's a child, it didn't do nothing, it's innocent. There's karmic baggage back here that, look, when you put this baggage out, if your vessel expires, that karmic energy does not go away. That karmic debt does not go away. It's still with you. And I know some of y'all, well, with the child, well, we should be able to remember it. Y'all got to understand who we are as gods. We're here in this dimension for a reason, because there are things that we need to learn. There are energies that we put out. The question is, are we going to get the lesson? Are we going to stay angry gods and go on into the next dimension and still be putting out energies and be like, what, this hell too? And this hell, what? Yeah, you don't understand what energies you, how powerful you are. I mean, I just had a situation. Let me go into this, because we're so powerful that we affect electronics. Why am I laughing? I'm laughing, I'm smiling, because we tend to think electronics is just some wires, and all of these waves are going through this air. I need to go into this. And Princess, if you have anything, I'm ready. I'm ready to call on you, because I want to go into this, because we tend to think that I don't even know what the ham sandwich we think. But what y'all got to understand, I want to talk about dark matter. I talked about this before. I'm going to go into it again. Dark matter. All right. What dark matter is that those things that our eyes, these eyeballs can't see. And some of y'all are like, well, how you know it's dark matter if you can't see it? Well, what scientists says is that we can only see 20%, 25% of what's going on. I don't know how they get that number, but they say we can only see 25% of what's going on. All right, that's fine. Now, if somebody's asking me, well, how you know, Diva? Well, turn on your cell phone, turn on your computer, and go to that button where it's talking about how many Wi-Fi signals are coming in and out of your dimension. All right, click on that. Let me click on it. Let me click on this thing. Because this thing will tell you how many Wi-Fi signals you got going through your space dimension. And you ain't seen, felt, nor heard none of it. Now, I say to you, if man can do this, Mother Nature has done it already many times over and much better. There are wars that can be fought right there in your room, your space. You don't see it. On a spiritual level, you have no clue. Because I can tell you right now what man is sending through your space. He sent a 3-hour movie through your space, and you didn't see nor hear it. And he did it within a couple of minutes. So you think Mother Nature can't do that? She did it many times over. So that's why we talk about what dark matter is and what you can't see. You surely can't see those waves float through here, but I just got a movie downloaded. I got some videos downloaded. I got some movies downloaded. So again, that's showing you that there is dark matter. There are things that your eyeballs can't see. And if you think man is the only one capable of sending a frequency through your space and you not seeing it or knowing what's going on, get real. Because we got ways of knowing that man only mimics what Mother Nature's already done. All right, let me get on this, because when we're talking about these waves and these signals, see, we think they're digital. Oh, it's digital. It's not analog. Everything comes from the analog. Everything comes from the analog. What does that mean? Look, when we're talking about air, look, this stuff gets really deep. These scientists are, yeah, this stuff gets deep. When we're talking about air, you got to understand that they're entities in the air. There are entities in the air. And I talked about the mitochondria. I talk about that all the time because mitochondria is in everything. What is a mitochondria? She's a bacteria. Look, microscopic. And when these frequencies are sent across the air, these are other, y'all, I'm going to trip y'all out, universes right here. All kinds of stuff going on right here in this little circle right here. I'm just talking about a flat space that I couldn't even begin to tell you about, and how much memory is kept right here in this much space. And so when there's a signal being sent across the quote unquote air, those are other entities that are transferring those waves. That's a contract. I won't go into that today, but that's a contract. And so as these waves are being sent, this is what analog is. And what man does is take those analog signals and then he cleans them up and then digitizes them and then sends them across. Y'all got to understand this game. All of it's spiritual. Why am I talking about? Well, what's so what, Dee? It's some, okay, some mitochondria and some bacteria. Okay, so what? When we talk about the cosmos, this is why we talk about when you hit send on that send button on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and how the cosmos are seeing everything that you send, you speak, you type. They see all of it. Well, where's the cosmos? It's right here. All of these molecules, they're interconnected. And they're interconnected with you. This is why we go back to saying, watch what energies you're putting out. Watch what energies you're putting out, because when you're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, when you're talking to your friends, when you're on the phone, when y'all just thinking, oh, them people, the government listening, the cosmos are listening. So when a signal goes across there, y'all, I'm telling you, these little molecules that y'all don't pay no attention to, all out here in your space, this, what y'all, look, they call it dark matter. Your dark matter and your matter that you're actually seeing, they have a memory. They receive what you're saying. And some of y'all are not getting this fact, and I'm going to go on this. Y'all have a tendency to think that the beings that might be watching us, grand, they big, they in outer space, they looking down on us. Y'all tend to not understand that microscopic beings are highly intelligent. Microscopic beings are highly intelligent. They get in your vessel and they will take over your whole vessel. They will control your whole brain. Microscopic beings are highly intelligent. Y'all think they up there and look, they all around you, all in your dark matter, making contracts, allowing signals to go through or not allowing signals to go through. When we're talking about the cosmos, this is what we're talking about all around you. And there are spiritual entities that are microscopic, and you, because you can't see them, or because you don't understand what they're, well, you know, I don't worry about, okay, yeah, they're watching. So you don't need to be worried about the government. You want to be worried about the dealing with and trying to understand and connect with the cosmos, because they're all watching. Princess, I'm going to let you come on and reset.
Right. Well, Yes, ma'am, to the cosmo energies. And that, yes, there are things, they're still there. Just because I don't see them does not mean they don't exist. And sometimes we flatter ourselves in that respect. If you don't mind me going in on that a little bit. Yeah, we flatter ourselves to that respect that these things don't exist because within our mind's scope at the time of our thinking, we don't realize that these things do exist. Even watching the Boobas Tubas or Idiot Box or TV, as some people call it, or Telelive through your vision, it's feeding you or teletyping to your subconscious messages, subliminal messages. And you'll find yourself, even through a song, carrying out some action you through what you watched. All the while you thought you was just looking at a soap opera or you was just looking at a movie. Well, no, they was feeding something, downloading something into your subconscious that allowed you to play it out on the conscious plane. And you're asking yourself when you're doing it, why am I doing this? And you're doing it because you were told to do it on a subconscious level. So yeah, we do have to be aware. And then we also have to accept our energies. When we get mad at somebody and we speak that out into existence, you don't think it's coming back to you. That's universal law. What you put out comes back. So you mad at somebody else and you cussing them out, but guess what happens? It reverses itself on you. Yes, it does that. Now, thank you, Diva. Thank you, Diva, for taking time to touch the space of our minds to help us recognize what we're putting out. I watched the video that you were referencing earlier, and only 3 minutes. I don't like to feed into a lot of negativity, and when I hear more negativity, I get away from it. But I heard enough, you know what I'm saying? And the brother was on point on one level, but on another level, he was disassociating himself and his responsibility with the hell that he created. And that's what a lot of us do. We want to claim the good. Oh, I did this good, or I did that good, and I did all this good stuff, and all these good things happened to me because I did so much good. But we forgot about the bad, excuse the expression, shit that we did. We forgot about, we put that energy out there in the negative, and it came back to us too. And then we want to deny, we want to put that outside on something else. Oh, that happened because this person did that, or that person did that. But nah, we had a hand in it. We spoke it into the universe, and the universe multiplied it and gave it back to us 10 times what we thought the first time. Right? So we really do have to be conscious. And myself in my walk in this life and this space of thinking at this time, I strive to be more aware of what I do, right? How I do it, and who I do it to. Right. Excellent. For that very reason. Many can identify with this one thing. You give somebody something and they spit on it in an indirect manner, or I'm saying in a hypothetical manner. You give somebody something and you come from your heart giving it, and they just trample all over it, and you're like, hey, I put all my love into that. Look what they did. Well, then that must be somebody gave something to you and you trampled all over it. It's an energy. And it could be it's energy. It's a return of energy. Mm-hmm. Everyone must account for it. Everyone, the giver and the receiver. Nobody is immune. Right. Good, bad, ugly. Thank you for that, Princess. So yes, we're in the UNA Law Club, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. We're speaking with Diva Laree from UNA University, and we're talking about accepting her energy, good and bad. And we thank Diva for taking this time out, Diva Laree for taking time out and sharing these degrees with us. May we each receive a level of enlightenment and go forward tomorrow stronger and more empowered than we were before we heard this conversation. You like what you hear? Hit that like button. YouTubers, we need you to hit that like button. Hit that share button. Share it with some more people so they can learn too. Yes, please. Facebook, same thing. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. And let's get this word out there. Let's start to change our environment. And that's how we do it. Each one reach one or some more. Thank you, Princess. Yes, I want you to take a pen, have your notebook, take notes, and pay attention. Additionally, if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, let's support Diva Laree. Let's make a donation at divalerie.com. That's divalerie.com. DIVALYRI.com. And make a donation. Hit that donate button. We thank you all for joining us, taking your time and your mind. We'll give it back to you, Diva. Thanks.
Thank you, Princess. I appreciate that. Yes, your vote in support UNA and DivaLarie, DIVALYRI. You can scroll down to the bottom and click on that general donation link and be a part of UNA because we've got a lot of great things going on. Now, I want to get back into this because we're talking about accepting your energies. Now, one of the things Princess mentioned is how, and I see this so much. I just saw it a couple of days ago. You know how people will take credit for all of the good things that come to you. It was just amazing what I was listening to. Oh, my life is great, and because I do this and that, my life is so great, and I can't reflect that things are negative if my life is so great. But then the only place that I have problems is this place over here. Okay, so you want to take credit for all the good things. But the bad things come up. That's somebody else. That's the devil. God makes something. That's somebody else. Cause they the problem, not me. You can't claim to be a God in one place and then not accept the other energies. So pay attention, people. Take notes. I say this again to you, going back to the law of polarity. All things have two sides. Duality. All things possess duality. So if you have a person or anybody, you're going to claim, oh, I'm a God, you better recognize you too are the devil. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. Because you can't take credit for this side. And then this side over here, oh, I had nothing to do with that. That ain't me. This side, no. You are the God and the devil. You're both. See, that's the deal with taking on that title and being willing to accept that role. Because now what you have done is you have said, okay, I'm a God. Then that means you can't blame anybody else but self. If this is a hell, you did it. If there's a problem here, you did it. So again, that's the big deal. When we're getting into these, the chest pounding, you can't pound your chest. That's not what claiming to be a God is about. That's not what it's about. Because those of us who really understand it and take that title seriously, we know that it's a humbling deal. You don't have any more excuses. You can't blame, oh, well, my dog chewed up my home and the cat. No, it's you. And so that's one of the things we have to recognize as we're getting into this and understanding who we are as God and walking this walk. So then when I hear people coming with that, I have to ask them, okay, well then, what is your situation looking like? How are you controlling your area, your dimension? All right. The other thing that I wanted to go over, when you disassociate yourself from whatever, and I'm not telling you not to, because one of the things that was spoken about in this video is that it was said, okay, well, I don't take claim to certain things. That's on point. I totally agree with that, especially when you're talking about, the slavery. Even though I do research, so I know that, this stuff is BS. But one of the things we have to recognize is that when you put your thoughts to something, then you manifest it. I'm going to talk about this pandemic. I'm not going to go deep into it. I don't even want to say the name of it because I don't accept it. But when we're talking about this whole pandemic, people, when you put something in your mind, you make it a reality. Somebody has given us this fictitious disease, and people have put it in their mind, and brought it into their reality. It's to the point now in my, and see again, I can't disassociate myself from this because I somehow created this. And you know what? It's so funny. I got to say this because I remember before this stuff started happening, I'm walking around, I'm thinking to myself, man, I got to share the same oxygen with these people. That's what I was thinking. You know, you have people coughing and sneezing, and I'm like, oh my God. I got to share the same oxygen with these people. Oh no. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, I was really on this whole tip about sharing the same oxygen with these people. Now here we are. Everybody's wearing a mask. I'm not saying that I had everything to do with it, but I know I wish some stuff. And here we are. Now, with that being said, how am I managing myself in this whole pandemic? Well, the first thing is not to allow this thing to become real, not in my dimension. It is not real. It ain't going to be real. I'm not even allowing it to manifest. But now, for those of y'all who do want to allow it to manifest, that's fine. For me, I'm not wearing a damn mask. I'd go out and sing. I hug people. I show them love when they want to show love back. That is what I'm manifesting, love. So I also, you know, have to deal with some things that I've wished. I'm here. How am I dealing in this whole pandemic that I know is BS? But if you allow it to be real and you manifest it in yourself, see, I'm gonna tell you, any medical professional, especially when you're talking about nurses and anyone who deals with helping people who are ill, they will tell you that a person, whether or not a person gets better, is dependent on their mindset. Because I'm going to go into how powerful the mind is. Whether or not a person gets better or their health is dependent on their mindset. So if they think they're going to die, well, damn it, they have created it. They have created that death for themselves. They already dug the grave. So there's every cell in their vessel hears this. Remember, just like every cell out here is its own universe, every cell within you is a universe. And when you tell it, when you show it with your mind and your thoughts, because everything you think, every cell in your body sees it. That's a frequency you're sending through your body the same way a frequency is going through this air and hitting your computer and your cell phone. So when you say to yourself, oh, I'm dying, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that, then that's exactly what your vessel is going to give you because it only knows to manifest what you tell it to do. You the God. When you say, oh, I'm this, I don't even like to say it. I like to say it, not even for example. But when there are these words coming out of your mouth about what you are, that's exactly what you have to manifest. So when we're talking about accepting your role and your energies, it starts with inside. What are you saying about yourself? What energies are you feeding your mind? So going back to the mind, that was one of the other things. Again, I say this brother was on point. He was just angry. He was disassociating himself. He wasn't recognizing that he was the one pulling all the strings. When we're talking about your mind and how powerful it is, I just told you, when you have a thought, every cell in your vessel sees, feels, and hears it. Sees, feels, and hears it. And so one of the things that we have to recognize is that every cell in your vessel is what is responsible for producing your dimension. Every cell in your vessel is responsible for producing your dimension. So whatever you tell it to do, that's exactly what it's going to do. And the problem is that a lot of us do not have control of our mind. This is why we talk about meditating. This is why we talk about, getting somewhere and being quiet going and grounding yourself in nature, because we have so many thoughts throughout the day. We don't recognize how many energies we have put out to create whatever our third dimension is. We don't understand that. So what I want to get on is this. Um, how powerful your thoughts are. When you have a thought, I talked about this, especially to my sisters, my brothers, you have it too. All of those embryos inside of your ovaries, and fellas, yeah, y'all got ovaries, they call scrotum. Those are spiritual entities, and they constantly communicate with us. And so the thing that we have to recognize is those are your ancestors. Those are your ancestors. And when you have an energy, they see, hear, and feel it. Not only them, but every other cell in your vessel as well. But your ancestors inside your ovaries, they see, feel, and hear everything you do. So one of the things you have to recognize is, women and brothers, when y'all come in here, you have your past, present, and future within you. You have your past, present, and future within you. So with women, especially, for example, when you have a child, that is your ancestor coming in here. Y'all got to recognize this game. So again, let's go back to your mind. When you have a thought, okay, because we have been made to think that the past doesn't change. The past, present, and future, they constantly changing. They're constantly changing with your every thought. And I'm going to, again, I talked about viewing as a fourth dimensional being and as a fifth dimensional being. We're going to get into that at some point, because I have to have visual aids to show you, because it's not as simple as to explain it here. But your past, present, and future are constantly changing depending on what your mindset is, what your thought is. All right. And so it's important to recognize that, because when your mindset is focused on positive energies, it shifts your vibratory frequency. Okay, so let me say it like this. Let's say your life is this book, all right, and you're on page somewhere in here in the middle. You're on this page. So on this page, you've been going through this book, and you're at a particular vibratory frequency. All right. And so this is your past and this is your future in this book. But when you change this vibratory frequency, your whole book changes. It shifts. So your past shifts, your future shifts. And when you shift from this point, you change your vibratory frequency, your whole book changes. Your past shifts. Your future shifts. That's what nobody's telling you. And so when we start talking about, can we travel in time and can we do this, you constantly traveling with your mind. When you think it, that's what your cells are manifesting. Every cell in your vessel has got to produce what you're thinking. If all of your thoughts are gloom and doom, that's what your vessel has to produce for you. So going back to this book, if this is your book, again, let's say this is the past at the top of the book, the beginning. This is the end. You in here on this particular vibratory frequency that deals with this book. As soon as you change your vibratory frequency, you got a whole new beginning and ending. And depending on how you're shifting, if your shift right here is negative, if you here talking about negativity and fighting and killing and robbing and lying to people, you shifting down here. Your whole book is changing. Your book look like doo-doo, what your book look like. But when you change your energy, your vibratory frequency, again, your whole book changes. Your frequency changes, your book changes. Your story changes. Past is constantly changing. Nobody's telling you that because that's where your power is. When you're talking about, can you change time? Yes. Can you time travel? You do it all the time. When you're thinking, when you're sleeping, when you're astral traveling, you're constantly doing it. So what we want to be cognizant of is that we are the ones who are creating our dimension. So if this is a hell to you, then you need to change your vibe. This you down here because that's why you got hell. You're doing all these negative vibratory frequency things. Change your frequency. And then you're going to be living in your paradise. Change your frequency. And then you're going to be moving towards your paradise. Change your frequency and you can change your vessel. You think you got to die. That's what they told you. You still believing in it. Okay, well, keep believing in that. Don't say that to me. You're the one who believed that because somebody fed you that story and you bought into it. This is your book right here. Change your vibratory frequency and change your book. Your book might get bigger up here. Again, it's all in the mind. What are you thinking? Again, when I talk about these vessels, see, a lot of us get hung up on these vessels too. I need to say this again. I'm going to go into these vessels. Princess, you want to come on and reset?
Absolutely. We want to thank everyone once again for joining us live on YouTube and live on Facebook. We are speaking tonight on claiming your energy, owning your energy, changing your frequency to change your vibration, to change the things that come to you. We're speaking live with Diva LaRee from UNA Law Club and UNA University on UNA America on Facebook and UNA Republic on YouTube. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and share. We want to thank Diva for taking time out and thank everyone else in the audience for taking time out to share our expressions of mind, of thought, of power, of energy. Make sure you all have your pens and your notebooks ready for things that you've heard that you've never heard before, or affirmations that you may need to make after hearing today's lesson. And pay attention.
Yes.
Back to you, Diva.
Thank you, and thank you, Princess. Listen, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Quan Chancias, I finally learned how to say his name. Amara, thank you for joining us. Don, my sister Don is in the house. Thank you, Michelle, and I appreciate you all listening. Kevin Stiff, Red Eye Princess in the house. So I want to thank you all for joining us. Let's see here. Quan Chancias says 3 days ago, he says, I stopped smoking. On my third day, I'm cleaning out my car and a joint appears, rolled up and ready to smoke. I politely put it in my altar and I'm manifesting mastery, and I know it's a test, Diva. Yes, it is a test to get control of these vessels. And I'm going to go into the vessels. Thank you for that, Quan Chancias, because I do want to talk about these vessels, what they are, and you know how we can transcend them if we want, when we get our mind right. Our cells are little helpers, says Don, that take the thoughts, message, and try their hardest to make our thoughts and work become freshly reality. That's right. And experience. As above, so as below, we must be like God to our little selves. We are God. Thank you, Don. We are gods to ourselves. All right. Our cells are universes within themselves. And we are a universe. These vessels are universes. And so one of the things that we have to recognize is that when, again, you put a thought in your mind, you are talking to your nation. Not only the ones in your ovaries, but every cell in your vessel. So this is why people ask me, and I say this all the time. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it till you get it. And after you get it, I'm going to keep saying it again. We are a nation. People ask me, well, Diva, how many people does it take to make a nation? You're a nation all by yourself. You are made up of many different spiritual entities. Every cell in your vessel is a spiritual entity. You are a vessel out here in what they call the sea, operating. Your ship, this ship has all these spiritual entities in it that you're in control of. So when you have a thought, you are commanding them to produce for you in this sea. And so when we're not careful about our thoughts, we start to produce and manifest things that we don't want. You're the problem. What are you manifesting? So now let me talk about, again, going into what these vessels are. You are a makeup of many different spiritual entities. And it is your job to control your mind so that you tell them what you want. But a lot of us don't have control of this vessel. Now, let me go into this because we talk about being of the flesh and then of the spirit. I talked about the mitochondria. When we're looking at, the mitochondria, what the mitochondria is, and we're talking about getting back to Christ-like, that's that spiritual side. See, okay, because when I say spirit, a lot of people want to act like, well, what does that mean, the spiritual? Because I don't know if I believe in the spirits. Okay, spirits come in the way of bacteria. Bacteria. Little spiritual energy. Y'all, I told y'all think because it's microscopic, it's unintelligent. Y'all think because it don't have 2 eyes, 2 legs, 2 hands, or whatever, y'all think it's unintelligent. That's the farthest from the truth. So when we're talking about your beings and your entities that hold all of the information about this planet and what's going on, go look at water. Water is, when we talk about water, I wish I had a bottle of water. Normally I have my water around here. But normally water is, it has, when we're talking about the smartest computers, water that's held in this much water has more ability to hold information than your biggest supercomputer on this planet. Water is highly intelligent. Now y'all got to understand what water comes from. Water comes from the mitochondria. All right, that's what she makes. When she gets to making wood and plastic and all these other things that she's making, water is a byproduct. Like, oh, here's some water because I'm trying to make all this other stuff. It's a byproduct. And when she doesn't have oxygen, she's going to produce alcohol, ethyl alcohol. Now, all right, now that's the spiritual side. Well, I would say mitochondria is the spiritual side because the mitochondria doesn't need light. Mitochondria doesn't need oxygen. She don't need food. She don't need none of that. And this is when you're at that level, then you're not dependent. But when we start talking about the flesh and these bacteria over here, oh well, that's a different story. This whole vessel, this is what I had to tell you. When we talk about human, see the human side of you, that's really the alien. Everybody want to know, what do the aliens look like? Well, look in the mirror. The human side, that's really the alien side. The side that's native to this planet, those are the bacteria that keep the cells alive. All right, the bacteria that keeps the cells alive, those are the beings that are native. That's the human or the physical side, the animal flesh, the flesh side. All right. So what y'all got to understand is these things right here, they got a mind of their own. You got the spirits over here trying to talk to you, and then you got these bacteria. They loud. These loud. Girl, that ain't gonna work. Don't do that. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna get self-killed. Don't go down there. This is gonna take too long to do. I don't want to do this because I know I want to make money, but I ain't trying to do it like that. But girl, I don't want to be doing it. Okay, that's the bacteria. The spirits, their voice, they got a softer voice. That's the mitochondria. That's a softer voice. That's down here. When they talk about, I should have gone with my first mind. It's in your heart. All right. So understand this game now. When you are not, you can't hear your mitochondria, your spirit's talking to you. The softer voice. And you too busy listening, girl, I'm hungry. Some Chick-fil-A tonight. Oh, some pizza, girl. Oh, you know what? I went out there to a Cracker Barrel. This one. So when you don't learn how to control the bacteria, then you can't hear your spirits talking to you. Beings, all of these entities, they were here. Like we talk about the bacteria in you. When it's, you know how they say every answer is within you. That's those bacteria. The bacteria, the water that goes in you, because most of you made up of 80% water. So understand that we have to learn that these beings inside of us, they talk, they vote. And if you don't know how to turn them off or how to control them, control your mind, they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to be out of control. They vote. Listen to me. Because again, I tell y'all keep thinking just because they're microscopic, they're unintelligent. No, they're not. And just because they don't have 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 hands, they don't, okay. They're the ones inside of your vessel voting. You think, oh, I want that joint. That's some bacteria inside your vessel voting and sending signals to your brain to tell you to do what they want you to do. You ain't in control because you hungry. You want to have sex. Oh, I'm horny. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I'm this. I'm that. Well, these are controlling you because the mitochondria over here doesn't need all of that. And this is why we talk about we got to get back to the spiritual side so that we can really understand what it is our walk is, what it is we're brought here to do. If you're not listening to the spirits and you're too busy listening to the bacteria over here, you can't control your vessel. See, when we get back to the spiritual side, we can make this vessel be whatever we need it to be. To my sisters, y'all listen up. And y'all brothers, I love y'all, so don't get mad at me. I'm just, telling my sisters because they need to hear this. There is that XX chromosome that they tell us about, but they don't tell you what the real deal is going on with that other X chromosome. That other X chromosome in you is dormant. It's dormant. I won't go into why it is, but it's dormant. And that is your X-Man power. See, why they talking about X-Man when X always represents the feminine? That you the X-Man, you the X-woman, because those powers are real. You can't tap into them because your other X is dormant. What am I talking about? Being able to teleport, being able to talk to somebody with your mind. Okay, being able to astral travel and actually do it on purpose and know where you're going and know what you're looking for. That is what your other X is. And it's dormant right now. All right. It's important to know what is going on because when you get control of your spiritual side, you can make this vessel do whatever you want it to do. See, I had somebody ask me one time, it was like, if you had a choice between your superpower, which one would you want? And I was like, I don't need but one. My superpower would be being able to communicate with every cell in my vessel. Being able to communicate with every cell in my vessel. Why? Because when I can communicate with them to tell them what I want and they can deliver it right away, I can levitate when I want to. I can go underwater, be above the water, be on the water, be on land, and everything else that I want to do. I can teleport when I want to, at will. That's the real superpower, being able to communicate with every cell in your vessel. I can control electronics. Remember, electronics is only going over the air. There's a contract being made to send these waves. There's a contract being made to send these waves across this air with all of these different universes. Y'all ain't getting it. Every air molecule is its own universe. And there is I told you, a contract being made to send these waves across here. Some of these waves ain't making it. Some of y'all are affecting the waves with your energies. You don't even recognize it. I've seen it. I do it all the time. I learned how to control that. Because there is a signal and a frequency. So when I can communicate with my cells, I can communicate with electronic gadgets. Because now I can communicate with these waves out here that are sending, or this air, these molecules, these other universes out here, these other universes. I can communicate with them now. And I can control electrical frequencies. We've been doing it. We just didn't understand the energies that we were putting out. Well, now we're starting to understand it. And as it comes into our abilities to control, what we want to make sure is that we're not angry gods. Because if you're an angry God, only thing you're going to end up doing is creating a hell that's worse than where you already are. If you're not willing to recognize why you're here in the first place and how this hell was created, which was by you, then all you're going to do is be a victim. And victims don't do nothing but create more hell for themselves. That's all they do. So unless you want to go out and create more hell, then what I suggest is that we all learn how you, oh no, that ain't me. I didn't do that. If you're going to take on the title, you take everything associated with that title. The law of polarity or duality. All things have two sides. If you're a God, you're also the devil. You better be willing to recognize that. Otherwise, you're just a victim. Go sit in the corner and take whatever energies are coming to you because you made them. All right, Princess, you want to reset? We're going to get out of here in a few. All right, thank y'all for joining us. El Christina, Don says, I like having a joint. I like having a joint now and then, different level of spiritual connection for me. Okay. Go ahead, Princess.
I agree with you, Dawn. It's a neutrality for me. It helps put me in a mellow state of mind. And back in my thugging days, if I was upsetting anyone, I could smoke a joint. I wasn't mad no more. Make you think about 50 other things other than being mad at somebody. So laugh, eat, play with children. I would that was the pandemic that took over our people when crack hit. If everybody smokes some reefer, we still have some families together, etc. But yeah, okay, yeah, we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on YouTube, on Facebook, and anywhere else that's been shared in the universe. We did have a question that was asked by Kevin Stiff, and that was the difference between omniverse and universe. And I believe, Diva, you went over it indirectly and directly. But if you want to expand on that, you can. That would be great to answer Kevin's question. And everybody, you're joining us at the UNA Law Club. We're live on YouTube, live on Facebook. UNA America on Facebook, UNA Republic on YouTube. With Diva Laree from UNA, we're speaking tonight on owning your energy. Very important that we own our energies, both good and bad. And we thank Diva Laree for taking the time and space among she has shared. Salute to everyone in the audience that has shared their queries and or questions. Make sure you hit that like button and share button. If you want to donate, you can donate to D as in Victoria or Victorious. A-L-Y.
Try it again. Hold on.
D-I-V-A-L-Y-R-I.com.
Princess, can you hear me?
We want to thank you once again for attending tonight. We hope that you have learned something that you can add your seed of wisdom and change their frequency, change their vibration. Watch how it flows. Thank you, Diva Laree. Have your pens, your notebooks handy, and pay attention. Back to you, Diva.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
What happened?
you totally destroyed my name. I'm gonna get it right. It's D as in David, I, V as in Victory, A, LYRI.com, DivaLarie.com. Y'all go ahead and do a donation there. So that we can, we can continue to uplift everybody who's working with us here at UNA, because we've got a lot of great things going on. You all are going to be want to be a part of that. So go to DivaLarie.com, scroll down to that general donations button and make a donation. If you appreciate any of the things that we've been doing here at UNA, make a donation. I'm telling you, listen, let me say this before I go on. Just like the universal laws, law of compensation, when you put it out with love, it's got to come back to you many times over, because you've watered that seed. Every dollar you put out is a seed. You can also go to Love Market. You can get the UNA Love Note. Go ahead and order that. If you want to just make a donation, you can do that on DivaLarie.com. Go to UNALoveMarket.com. You can order a Love Note. Order several of them. We have our digital currency coming out that y'all can purchase as well. So be a part of it. Listen, UNA is a nation. UNA is a county, especially for those of y'all who have been wanting to put your documents on public record. UNA is a great place to have that. We keep records here, and we make sure that they're on public record for everybody to see, and everybody who wants to can go there and see your declarations on public records. So I want to thank you all for joining us. Now, speaking about what the guy who had the video was saying, and he was talking about, expound on that. With respect to the universe, he's saying, oh, we're just within this one dimension and we're closed up. When he's talking about omniverse, it's like we're all of the different dimensions. So when I speak about that, or just trying to put that into perspective, other universes that are right here in this, what we would call dark matter, that we can't see, we don't recognize. He's saying we're over all of that. And he's right. But at the same time, at this particular time and seeing these things, if we're not recognizing that, and we're talking about, oh yeah, I'm the verse over all of this, then we're still not controlling what our dimension is. So omniverse, he's like, oh, we're above this third dimension. We're above fourth dimension. We're above fifth dimension is what he's saying. We're over all of it. Yes, we control all of this that you have power over if all you have is anger and you're walking like a victim. You're not walking like a God. Yeah, we're in control of all of it. Are you recognizing why you created this thing that you call hell in the first place? If you're not, then you're not ready for all of this omnipresence. You're not ready for this. See, that's why, look, sisters, I'm going back to this. You have all of these embryos within you, and you got these two X's, and one of them which is dormant. Oh, why was it turned off? Why is it dormant? Because you will kill yourself with all of that power, because you don't have self-control. We're here because we lost our powers because we didn't have self-control. Same thing, with the brother. That, as a matter of fact, the brother's contract was cut off. We're not even going to that. He's our sister, but his contract cut off. We're not going into that. I deal with that in the molecular structure of the male and the female. But one of your exes is dormant. And in understanding that, it's coming back on. This is why they're starting to speed up, because that X chromosome is turning back on. It's becoming accessible to you. And as you put thoughts in your mind, your cells, you are communicating more and more with every cell in your vessel. And because you're doing that, and again, some of us have no clue how powerful we are. We have no clue. So we're putting out all of these energies, and we're causing this havoc to ourselves, And then we're blaming it on everybody else. But really, no, it's your X chromosome turning back on. So that's why everything's speeding up, because you got more and more communication with yourself, and you don't get it. You don't think it's you, but you put an energy out. And I'm saying to you, we've got to get control of that, because that same energy that you put out to your baby daddy, it must come back to you on this side. This is why we've got to learn to be in control of our thoughts and the things that we say and do. And we write. Fighting over here with this one, you're fighting with this one, you sign this contract, you're not ready on this side. And that's why we're learning, especially here at UNA, how to fight differently. We want to fight. Listen, because the fight is always within, and the fight is within, and as is within, so is without. Okay, so if the fight is within, then this is what we need to start within. If these people in this governmental, whatever, this matrix are the ones giving us hell, there has to be an energy that we put out over here, because nothing is happenstance over here, right? So then what the hell do we do over here to cause this energy over here? Nothing is happenstance. So if we're really taking these laws, seriously, then we have to learn to deal with things on the spiritual side first. What is this? Yeah, and I told you, I'm talking about the child. I'm talking about that woman, yeah. The one who's in that relationship, her, yeah. The one who had whatever happened to her, yes. What energies did you? Because see, women will go to their grave with a secret. I'm just gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell it. Women will go, but the universe will not let you get away with anything. What's done in the dark will come to the light. That's a universal principle. So if you're seeing somebody get an energy over here, they did some dirt over here. So again, we're going to learn to deal with the spiritual side. Because over here, the universe is trying to just show us, hey, this is the lesson you need to learn. You put this energy out. You made somebody feel this. If you don't like feeling it on this side, put it up on this spiritual side, and it must go away over there. All right. Now, with that being said, I wanted to get on this whole thing about the joint, which is why our mind is what keeps us, I'm going to say, trapped in these vessels, quote unquote trapped. All right. The mind is what keeps you trapped in the vessel. And when you allow your mind to release certain things, you can move outside of this vessel. I tell you, your spirit is not. And there were other vessels before this that we were in, but this ain't the ultimate vessel. Because this, I ain't saying it's terrible. Cool, but vessel, I took care of it as much as I could. But damn it, I'm supposed to be levitating by now. I'm supposed to be walking through walls. What's up with this? I'm supposed to be able to transport and teleport to whatever country I want to. I got to get on the damn plane. That's enough of this. This is great. I love it, but we need to change some stuff with this. We need to change this contract. The X's and 2 X's, I'm changing them X's because we're ready to be able to teleport up out of here, and the borders need to disappear. And should nobody be telling me I can't bring my bags on the plane? No, we got to change this. So for me, y'all all excited about these human vessels, which the human side of you is the alien. Get control of them other beings. Because when you can control your cells, then you can do all other kind of things. Look, if I want to transform this vessel into something else, I should be able to do it. If I need, you know what? That's it. I need to be a bird. I need to be able to have wings and fly away. I'm supposed to be able to do that when I communicate with my vessels. Now, getting back to this marijuana, other kind of things. It's funny how people on drugs, or because I know people who used to be on drugs, different vision, and with respect to marijuana, I've never used that at all. I know y'all like that. No, I never. But when I, watch people or deal with people, they tell me about how it makes them more at ease. The only other thing I know about it now with marijuana, from what I'm understanding, and you can speak on this, Princess, is that if you have to be careful because whatever state you're in when you're using it, from what I'm understanding, it only intensifies that state. I don't know. Is that what you experience, Princess?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just going based on what.
I didn't know my mic was open. Yeah, it does not intensify. It actually, for me, it diverts. But everyone has a different experience. It's just like a bee sting. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Some people are allergic. They have different reactions to it. Some people say ow and sit. Some people say ow and swell up. And so it's the same with pot. And then there's different kinds of marijuana out there. People putting chemicals on stuff. So you have to be very mindful of what you're taking into your body to get the desired result. For me,
listen, I want to go deep into it. I just wanted. I was just asking you. Yeah, I was just asking you if it did that. So you're saying it didn't?
No, but everyone's experience is not the same. It doesn't increase my state.
Okay, cool.
It actually decreases. It's a slow down.
Excellent. That's what I wanted to know.
A mellow.
Well, the reason why I didn't want to get deep into that. What I did want to just say is what I'm seeing is that when you're dealing with these mind-altering chemicals, or not, not mind-altering, but these, what I see with marijuana, it is a drug that can be used on as a spiritual means. I'm not encouraging nobody to use that at all. I'm not saying that. Because I've never used it and I don't desire to do that. But what I see when I when I study it is that it allows your mind to escape this vessel. And that's not something that those who are running this game want to happen. Because when you're able to let your mind escape or get out of this vessel, well, then you become way more powerful. You become way more powerful because, as I said, you can transcend this vessel. And a lot of entities know about how to do that. You can transcend the vessel and go into another vessel. When you learn how to get your mind right, can create another vessel. As a matter of fact, women, y'all got all of these ovaries, these eggs in your ovaries that can be anything you want them to be. Anything. All you got to do is get your mind right and you can move them and make them be anything you want them to be. These stem cells that they're fighting over, they come out of your ovaries. The stem cells that they're fighting over, they come out of your ovaries. An ovary and make it start to produce and be whatever it is you tell it to be. So again, I say, when you get your mind right and you really learn how to communicate with your cells, then you can do all kind of X-Men type activities. All right. I'm gonna see. Do I have any more questions in there, Princess? You say it's called a different name.
Forgive me.
It's called.
I was trying to keep it. Yeah, I don't see questions. I see comments.
Don says it's called.
Pretty much.
Don says it's called, hold on for a second. Don says it's called a different name in the Bible, but it's a favorite of God's. We're talking about marijuana. Receptors in our brain for it. All right. It is a spiritual food to be used. El Christina, you know what? The thing about marijuana, I'm really fascinated about that plant. When I first saw a marijuana plant up close, I was like, look at it. Now, this is the thing about marijuana. I'm fascinated about how it grows because it mimics, to me, it mimics human society, really, in some of the things that you have to do in order to take care of that marijuana plant society. So with that also being said, just the properties that it has to be able to cure illnesses. So for me, if it's all about eating it, yeah, I'm wonderful. Cut that thing up and put it in your salad. Don't smoke it. Well, that's me. I wouldn't smoke it, but medicinal purposes, and people favor it simply because they know they can get high. But for me, I feel that it's an abused plant personally. But that's just me. Let me see. I'm reading. Y'all be sure to share this. Okay, that's red eye. Tadao Universal says, back at you. Let me see. Who else is in the house? Okay, Jamie, you had Princess, you had another question. I mean, another comment you had.
No. No, I just was speaking with the sisters in the group. Again, going back to that, everybody has a different effect. For everyone, it has a different effect. Some people use it to cure glaucoma. The reason it was legalized, just speaking on herb, the reason it was legalized is because there's a strain of it that was used to actually run the web that cures seizures. It's not to be smoked. It was something that they ingested, not typically created or man created. Just give thanks, though. I just put the comment in the comment section. Thank you, Diva, for the lesson tonight on owning our energies. Because that's really what we were talking about more than we are focusing on any intoxicating influences.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, Princess, for being here. So, but yeah, it's the biggest thing that we just want to get from this is making sure we're owning our energies and not being victims. You don't want to be a victim in this game, because all you're going to do is create more hell for yourself. If you're not getting what you're looking for, you really just need to change your energies. Remember, if this is your book, dealing with your vessel, being at the beginning and this being the end, and you're in here on this page, when you change your vibratory frequency, your whole book changes. Your beginning and end changes. Your beginning and end gets wider, and so on when you continue to change your frequency. So I want to get more into that. I'm going to have my visual aids at some point. We're going to get into that. And I want to thank you all once again for joining us. Anybody else have any comments? But I still smoke it though. All right. I did not, that's why I like to bring on that subject. Y'all get stuck on some stuff and it's like, okay. But yeah, I mean, that's what you do you? But yeah, that's not something that I indulge in at all or ever. But again, it's not, what I'm seeing is that if it's dealing with something that can enhance, that's something that they've made illegal. And they want to act as, oh, it's dangerous. Well, then you should have made smoking illegal a long time ago. Smoking cigarettes, that should have been made illegal a long time ago. We know it has nothing to do with that. Again, it has to be. And when you control your mind, you're going to control every cell in your vessel, because it sees what you're thinking. And when it sees what you're thinking look like, if you want to be in paradise, then change your mental vibration to reflect that. Because everything we're seeing in your third dimension is a reflection of the laws. I love y'all. UNARepublic.com/DOCS docs. All right, UNARepublic.com/docs. You'll go to Diva LaRie and make a donation. DIV.com. On the game. Princess, I want to thank you for being here and moderating for me again. Thank you, lovely people, my spirits with vessels. I love y'all. Let's stay positive. Y'all can catch us here on Tuesday. You know what? Let me say this too. For those of y'all who wanted that A for V session, we're gonna be doing a special A for V session. It's gonna be a 2-day session. If you want to join that, y'all stay tuned. A special A for V. If you have any questions about it, hit up at UNA America on Facebook. UNA America on Facebook. We're gonna do an A for V, where we're talking about how to pay your bills. All right, how you can pay your bills. If you are not familiar with the A for V session, it means accepted for value. So we're going to do a special session on that coming up soon. Y'all stay tuned. Hit up UNA if you're interested in it. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Princess. And we are out. Divine, we miss you. Bye, Princess.
And thanks, Diva.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.